All right, everyone. Noel Quinn said there were layers, lots of layers to Wednesday's win. We're going to talk about what we learned about the Seattle Storm in their win over the Minnesota Lynx. And most importantly, can they keep that level of intensity with consistency? That is the big question. We'll talk about it on Tempestade Talk.
You have three people who are selfless like that, three people who are dangerously disciplined like that, and you have a coach that also embodies all of those characteristics. You can expect good basketball.
I love interacting with the fans. I'm excited for them to cheer for us because it's hell when you come here. I even welcome people that could be skeptical because it's new.
There's going to be a standard of excellence and discipline in everything that we do.
The Pacific Northwest, this area, how passionate they are. It's culture everywhere, but it's great culture here. And that's what I want to be a part of, to compete for a championship. That's everybody's goal. And I think it's just how we go about things and habits that we create. I want to be around winners that'll help us get closer to that.
And that's what the fans can expect. And we're going to have some fun.
Welcome to another episode of Tempestade Talk, part of Black Rosie Media, where we empower Black women and melanated creators in sports media. Salud. Erica L. Ayala, joined by Roberta Rodruguez. We are your dynamic duo here on Tempestade Talk. If you're joining us for the first time and are not familiar, tempestade is the Portuguese word for storm. So effectively, this is your Storm Talk podcast. All right, we have a lot to talk about, including what was a fantastic win for this Seattle Storm squad. They hand Minnesota, Roberta, their first loss. But before we do that, let's do a vibe check. First of all, if you're watching with us live, either on Instagram or on YouTube, let us know. Say hey, tell us where you're coming from or where you're watching from. But Roberta, what's good in your hood?
You know, you can see I have a whole new setup here. Life changes. Hashtag if you know, you know. But we are thriving. I was at the game yesterday, and that's kind of funny because I almost didn't go to that game. I had so much work. Let me put my glasses on because now that I'm over 30, I need my glasses. I had so much work to do. I was moving here, stuff in the house, and I was so tired that I almost didn't go to that game.
Wow.
But something was telling me, no, you're going to the game. You have to go to the game. Just give yourself some time to do women's basketball. And it was worth it. I have no problem saying that that was the best game of the season. And I'm not saying storm game. I'm saying game of the season. It's the best WNBA game of 2025 so far. Some people pointed the New York Indiana Fever game. That was a really good one. I would say that fell to second when you look into yesterday's game. So amazing game that pumped me up a lot and got me super excited for this episode.
Wow. That's a bold
How about you, Erica?
statement. I was at that Indiana game,
Yeah.
Indiana, New York game, and we get round 2 this weekend.
Yes.
But
Yep.
so I mean, I don't know if I'm ready to rank them, but both were pretty good. We have here for those who are watching with us live, we have the game, the game progress chart here, and you can see that there was definitely a surge at times for Minnesota, but the Seattle Storm were able to really start on time.
Mhm.
And they were able to hunker down defensively at times in this game. Points in the paint, 50.
50 points in the paint.
50.
50.
5-0 to
50
32.
points in the paint. Yep.
That is massive. That is massive. Fast break points 14-7. You can see the biggest lead was just about even there. Team rebounds, we'll talk about rebounds, we'll talk about turnovers. Points off of turnovers, though.
Points off turnovers are
13,
huge.
13 turnovers for Minnesota, 10 for Seattle. So I still find that, Roberta, pretty close, right?
Yeah.
That's still pretty close. But the points off of turnovers more than double for Seattle. 22 points on 13 turnovers, just 10 points on 10 turnovers for Minnesota. And I mean, it was a really solid game. You also see that the Minnesota bench, I think, really did help them. And that's something interesting that we can talk about as we go through. But I think maybe the biggest, I don't know what we want to say, fireworks came towards the end of the game. There was a turnover, one of the aforementioned turnovers.
Ooh,
And you see Skylar waving Erica Wheeler, go, go, go. Seconds left in the game. Kayla McBride is the last defender for Minnesota back, and Erica Wheeler goes up for while being pushed, so she's fouled. She gets pushed in the back. A lot of people talking about that. Now, on a play like that, it's not unusual for a player to try for the type of contact. There was no way Kayla McBride was going to stop Erica Wheeler from scoring. So that is one thing. But then McBride, after that, Roberta, upset, starts yelling what seemed like TV, yelling at Erica Wheeler. The ball, after it goes through the net, she like kind of launches it towards Wheeler, but really the crowd. And there was a little bit of drama there. So let's talk about that play because, like you said, you had intuition. Your intuition was on point. You were at this game. What did you see on that play? And then how did the crowd react to that play?
I love that you're asking that because that happened right in front of Media Row. So almost quite literally front row seat to what happened there. So you had the Storm already ahead in the box score. So the game was almost over, and Skylar told Erica Wheeler to just go, all like just hit the pedal and go. So Erica Wheeler did go, and she scored, and Kayla McBride got very upset. But the crowd erupted. Though that arena was erupting. They were so excited. I haven't seen that place that hyped in a while. And I do want to add that it seems that the excitement and the crowd keeps growing game by game, which you love to see. It was a Wednesday evening in Seattle. There was a lot of traffic. I know that. Um, but people were there to watch the Seattle Storm, and it also tells a lot about the Minnesota Lynx and what they mean to this season as the favorite teams. So that play was what sealed the deal, right? The team was already winning. The Lynx were frustrated because it's not like they didn't play well. They played well, but the Storm played better, and I'll give those impressions from the post game pressers later when it's time. So Erica Wheeler went up for the layup, made the layup, and just ran to the crowd. She just like went to start high fiving people. She was yelling. It was so cool to see a Storm player having that type of reaction, which we have talked a lot here about how we need Seattle Storm players to be a little more, to show a little more emotion. And we saw that yesterday. Neko Gumake was just pouring emotion and excitement all around. It was really cool to see a 13-year veteran is still having that fire, still having that passion. So Erica Wheeler makes the basket, and Kayla McBride is not happy about it. It reminds me of a game against the Indiana Fever last season when the Storm kept the starters in, and the Indiana Fever bench and Christy Sides got very upset. Um, So Kayla McBride got very upset, and so Skylar, of course, came in, and what's up, y'all? Skylar has no fear to take charge and see what's up and why people are being messy with her teammates. So
Yes, yes.
yes,
And we'll get
so
to a different account of what Skylar
yes,
said a little bit later.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, we'll
To
talk
paint
about
a
that.
paint a picture of what
But
happened.
but I want to go to now, you were at the Minnesota press conference. So
Yes.
did Minnesota talk about that play at all?
They did not talk about that play at all. They didn't. They were visibly frustrated with their play. Uh, I asked Cheryl Reeve. I asked Cheryl Reeve and Nafisa Collier the same question. They played 9 games before yesterday. No team was able to beat them, including the Seattle Storm. What was different about not only this Seattle Storm, but this game, this Minnesota Lynx that lost, and she said that she doesn't think that there was something like wrong. It's just that the Storm did better, and she said, and for those of you who have been following the Storm for longer, or especially since last season, and for those of you who have been watching this podcast, Cheryl Reeve said the Seattle Storm wanted more.
Mm,
They wanted to win the game more than we did. And we know that had been a huge issue for the Seattle Storm last year because Sky Big Mama Diggins uh, said, if in this league, if you're not ready to play, you're going to lose. Uh, Head coach Noel Queen said, you can teach, you can coach motivation.
yep.
What happened last night? What did Cheryl effing Reeves say? They wanted more than we did. We're
Hey,
talking about undefeated Minnesota Lynx MVP front runner Nafisa Collier. And Nafisa Collier also said that the Storm executed things much better than the Lynx. Uh, Nafisa Collier especially highlighted the Storm's defense, and we see that in the turnovers.
mhm,
Uh, so that's why I chose to go to the Minnesota Lynx press conference rather than the Seattle Storm. I thought that it would be interesting to see what the opposing team, especially such a relevant opposing team, what they had to say. And there were some really good insights. Of course, I had to ask about the matchup between Nafisa Collier and Dominique Malonga. That was so beautiful to see, and it was further proof that Dominic Malonga is going to be a problem in this league. She is 19 years old, and Nafisa Collier, Asia Wilson, they turn around and choose not to shoot the ball because there is a 6 foot, what again? What is her height again? I forgot. But there is a huge 19-year-old with her arms like this in front of them. So when you have Nafisa Collier and Asia Wilson turning around and choosing not to shoot the ball, you know that that player has something special. Uh,
yes.
so of course, like I had to ask about it, and Nafisa Collier didn't want to talk much about it. She said, "Yeah, she is a big top player who's going to have a bright future in the league." I mean, that's an understatement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so there was definitely frustration. Uh, yeah. So a 19-year-old, 6'6", uh, in front of three-time MVP Asia Wilson, and that was so ingrained in my brain that I just can't forget. I can't get over the fact that Asia Wilson decided not to go to the basket because of Dominique Malonga. So, and there is a very interesting stat that Kevin Pelton noted, and it says I'm gonna find it later, but it was very interesting to hear what Cheryl Reeve, Nafisa Collier had to say. I forgot who the other player in the Lynx presser was, but they were, at the end of the day, it was not about who did worse, it was about who did better, and the Storm did better.
Yeah.
It was and it was a really good basketball game. It was a really good basketball game. If that was someone's first WNBA game ever, they're fans for life. The
Yeah.
bar is very high.
Yeah. I mean, it was fantastic. And I want to go to what Erica Wheeler had to say about the play, because I think a lot of people were confused about why Skylar Diggins, if you look at the clip, Skylar Diggins is clearly telling Erica to score. And I don't think too many people understood that, why she would have her score. Actually, I think this clip is first going to be Erica Wheeler just talking about coming to Seattle, because we also heard her post game and she was very emotional. We've seen Erica Wheeler show emotion before, notably when she won MVP at her first ever All-Star, and her undrafted story was pretty fantastic. But here's what Erica Wheeler had to say, just about being a part of the Seattle team.
About us. Like I keep saying, it's never about anybody else. It's about us just putting games together for ourselves. And that's a really great team. And it was for us, it was just more so executing the things that we've been working on for the past 2 days, because we don't get to practice. We finally got 2 practices to practice, and we were locked in. And today, that showed. So the emotions for me at the end was more so just me getting back to who I am, being on a team that appreciate everything that I do, a coach actually believing in me and allowing me to just be me, unapologetically. So that's why I was emotional. And the love from Seattle has been crazy, man. It's immaculate. I just feel good here. I'm happy. Everything is just clicking.
And we're going to hear from Nneka Ogwumike a little bit later, but you mentioned, and defense is such a huge part. We heard Coach Noel Quinn talk about Ezi Magbagor also on Nafisa Collier, but you wanted to get back to a specific stat regarding defense.
Yeah, so I want to highlight this stat that Kevin Pelton brought, and Nathan Taps, who is in the Storm coaching staff, he pointed that to me. He said that Nafisa Collier shot 9 of 23 last night. She was 2 for 7 when Dominique Malonga guarded her, and 7 for 16 when someone else guarded her. So it's the impact of Dominique Malonga is huge. The fact that she forced Nafisa Collier to shoot only 2 for 7, that says a lot. So that's one of the stats that I wanted to bring up, because it tells a very significant story of the game.
I mean, I think that's huge. I've been asking for more minutes for Dominique Malonga, and seeing what she can do defensively to right the ship for this team, I think is huge. I do want to go to what Erica Wheeler had to say about the last shot, because I saw on some social media that people were like, well, Erica Wheeler has to quote unquote have more class, or you don't take that shot. First of all, I'm going to say this. I think it is, to use a Kobe Bryant saying, the softest of soft things when people get mad at someone for scoring. If you don't want someone to score on you late in the game, early in the game, at any point in the game, maybe don't cough up the ball or the puck, because I'm also thinking of hockey. Like if you don't want someone to dunk on you, you don't want someone to showboat, then don't give them a breakaway opportunity.
Yep.
Like that's number one. But there was also something else on the line that for some reason people didn't really understand, because there is an in-season tournament. For those who are new, the MNBA in-season tournament didn't start with the MNBA. It started with the WNBA. But here's Erica Wheeler. She sets the record straight. Just so y'all know.
On that last basket, was there?
It's Commissioner's Cup. Point spread matter.
Yeah.
Point spreads matter.
So could you sort of explain that? It felt like they took exception to all.
I mean, it's Minnesota. They 9-0, so they don't expect anybody to come at them like that. But it's a point spread. We lost one already, so we're trying to get our points up. So not to disrespect anybody, that's not who we is. Like we not that. We're just playing basketball. We doing what we need to do. It was solely to get the point, not to disrespect anybody.
All right, last question.
I mean, basically, I again, even if there wasn't a Commissioner's Cup, for me, it doesn't matter. Like, you are here to play a game. And, there was something that happened at the Olympics where against, I believe it was Nigeria, right? Where USA got a little bit worked up because they played to the whistle. That's literally what we teach young people, is to play to zeros, play to the whistle. And like, I get it to an extent. And if someone doesn't play along with that, I like, that to me is not the worst thing in the world. You're playing at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Go for it. Like, come on. If you don't want to get dunked on, if you don't want to take a charge late in the game, then just let them go by, like, let them go by. But to get mad at an athlete for playing until the end of the game, I just think that's crazy. There was like a miscommunication about how, we dribbled out, they didn't dribble out. And I think Cheryl Reeve at the Olympics said, that's just not what we do. And I'm like, Cheryl, like, respectfully,
I remember that. Yeah.
Tell people, other federations, what we don't do. Like, let them cook, let them play their game. You play your game, let them play their game. And that's it. And
especially, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, especially since, and again, that's just probably like expanding a little more on that, especially when we're talking about the US has so many chances to show their basketball. Other federations don't. And bringing that back to the WNBA, it takes me to that New York Liberty, Connecticut Sun game, that it was a completely blowout, and Sabrina freaked out at the end over a foul. I think the Liberty were like 40 or 50 points ahead, and Sabrina was like showing her hair, and she was skipping around when they got when the review corrected that it was indeed Liberty ball. We talked about that. We're talking about competitors. We've talked about how we're not going to patronize those women. We're talking about they want to win. Commissioner's Cup, $250,000 on the line for the team, or $500,000, a lot of money on the line, and a title that teams have come to really appreciate. So just let them play.
Let them play.
If you don't want someone to score, then make sure they don't give the ball away. Like that's.
It's really that simple. It's really that simple. And Moni talking about Commissioner's Cup and the Western Conference. So it was mentioned on the broadcast. The broadcast team mentioned this, but Seattle does right now. They have a 3-1 record. So does Minnesota. But obviously now Seattle has a win against Minnesota. So that would give them, any tiebreaker. But again, the differential in how many points they have on the board, that could make a difference, especially again, if things get a little bit funky here and Seattle drops another game or whatever have you. So I do think it was also interesting. You mentioned the Sabrina Ionescu thing. We talked about that on Gotta Get Up, a podcast for New York Liberty fans, Brian Florentin and I. And basically what we said is, if you know the history of Sabrina Ionescu, and specifically, or the New York Liberty and specifically Sabrina Ionescu when it comes to challenges, there's like a culture, there's a history. Sabrina has said multiple times, Sandy Brondello, the head coach, has said multiple times, Sabrina's always asking for a challenge. Sandy Brondello has jokingly said, yeah, I don't listen to Sab when she calls for challenges. Now she says, Leonie Fibish, if Leo asks, then I'll probably ask. But when Sabrina, she's like, no. And so I think there was some vindication kind of like, and you know, I like the optics. If people want to play the optics game, I'm like, okay, whatever. That's your prerogative. And it wasn't that serious. It wasn't that deep. And yeah, they wanted to win that game and they did well to get themselves in a good position when it comes to point differential in the Eastern Conference. So anyway, you know, I the last thing before we move on to talking a little bit more about Seattle basketball proper is that, you know, I guess Minnesota, again, we've talked about this on Gotta Get Up, not related obviously to last night, but, you know, Minnesota and their revenge games and, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't care for that narrative at all. Miss me with that. But anyway, you know, some people, that's what they need. Cool, tight. But apparently some Minnesota players had some things to say post-game on social media and on their podcast. But I think the funniest was Natisha Heidemann and Courtney Williams talking about their POV, because Skylar Diggins did pop in, as you mentioned earlier, and T goes in and immediately Skylar is like, I saw it on, because I was watching on TV, and I saw her push her hand away, and I was like, oh snap, it's about to get hella. It was like the whole W was on en fuego, to use a Spanish term, on fire on Wednesday. There's just a lot of animosity going around. But I thought it was funny because Teaspoon talked about like she was going to de-escalate. And so she did one of these, you know, just kind of trying to, and you make contact usually because people are close. You're trying to push them away. Skylar knocked her hand out of the way.
Yeah.
And apparently, and Courtney Williams is dying laughing while she's telling it. But apparently Natisha Heidemann said to Skylar, she said, you know, that crush that I thought that I had on you, or something like that. She's like, it's gone now. And so Skylar, and I believe this, I believe she said it just like this. But so T is like reenacting what Skylar said. And she's like, Skylar turned around and was like, shut up. She's like, you still love me, or something like that. And I lost it. That is like one of the funniest things to me. And then Courtney's like, how are you gonna, in the middle of like a scuffle, tell someone that you used to have a crush on them? I was weak. Like,
yeah.
To me. So like, as much as sometimes the media narratives trying to make the WNBA like just a bunch of petty women, there's also this part of it, which is just like, even in the middle of a heated exchange, just like the hilarity that ensues. We immediately need like we need a reality show, because this is,
my God, that would be my dream.
Comedic gold. Yes, Stud Buds is exactly what we were talking about. Hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna talk. I have a Stud Buds story coming up soon for Forbes. I was able to talk to Natisha Heidemann, so stay tuned.
I love it. I love it. Well, let's keep it moving here, because, you know, Erica Wheeler is someone just in general that you have been pretty high on. I had my doubts, but Erica Wheeler has turned into a fantastic pickup in the starting rotation, got very emotional, as we talked about. But some of the things that I highlighted is that she's working very well with Skylar Diggins. She feels that Skylar Diggins is very supportive of her. Obviously, she was ready to nuck if someone was ready to buck. But Erica Wheeler, once again, just talking about how the confidence of this team has helped her, because this is a team that really embraces who she is, you know, encourages her to be who she is. And I liked this saying, or this title almost, that the Seattle Storm, particular Noel Quinn, has given to Iwizi, the connector in chief.
Ooh.
Yes, the connector in chief. And that is because she is all about bringing the team together with her energy, but also, as we've seen in the last handful of games, her execution. And that looked like in this game against Minnesota. And Erica Wheeler said this, Noel Quinn reinforced it, that the task going into this game, not specific to playing Minnesota, but just in general, was that Noel Quinn was like, yo, Eweezy, if you are open, you need to shoot the ball. And Erica talked about that. Noel Quinn talked about that. And she took that confidence at face value. She took it to heart. And the Seattle Storm have benefited because of it.
Yes, they have. And am I allowed to gloat?
Go for it.
Listen, I have been on the Erica Wheeler train for a while. I told someone recently that I really like being right. So I'm really liking this vibe here right now. I'm kidding. I been watching Erica Wheeler forever. And just I remember when she first got to the WNBA, it made me so happy because I had seen firsthand the level of her play and how much she adds to any team.
Yep.
So to be able to follow her closely here in Seattle, because of course, Seattle is the team that I follow the most. It's the home team and Tempestade Talk. So to be able to watch her in her 10th season, if I'm not mistaken, and still be so fired up is really cool. Because when you get this Seattle Storm team, we're talking about a group of veterans that still has a lot to give. A group of veterans that doesn't take any day in this league for granted. And that is something that Erica Wheeler brings, but she also shows it. And she's not afraid to show it. So my theory is that that has ignited, it has inspired. We know that Skylar has never been shy about her feelings, but it has also inspired Nakagumake to bring that fire out. We have always known, we have always talked about how Nakagumake is a little more contained, Madam President, right? She keeps it always level-headed, keeps it cool. But
Yeah.
yesterday, I saw Nakagumake that almost brings it back to that brings back to younger players who celebrate baskets, who celebrate even you know uh, uh, something that would be trivial in a game. And who do we see celebrating every single basket? Erica Wheeler.
Yep.
And she has added fuel to the storm fire.
Yeah.
And I think that this is something that Seattle has needed for a long time. And we see one thing that happened that I thought was amazing. That's the one thing that I wish I had been able to ask Noel Queen. At some point, there was a really good defensive play, and Gabby Williams walked to the side. Noel Queen embraced Gabby Williams and jumped with Gabby in her arms. Like, we're talking about Noel Queen, who is also
Right.
always level-headed,
Yeah.
contains her emotions. So something is happening in this Seattle team.
Mm.
The energy is very high, and
Yeah.
for that energy is being fueled by Erica Wheeler, and what she's doing
Connector in chief.
is showing in the score. And you saw, I think I saw a clip of Pokey Chatman just being super. She's always hype, but she was just extremely hype because Erica Wheeler coming to Seattle is Pokey Chatman's work. Erica said that she was connected to Pokey Chatman, and that's why she came to Seattle. So it must be. I think that for the whole coaching staff, it must be a breath of fresh air, especially considering what happened in the offseason. Because unfortunately, you can't talk about the Seattle Storm 2025 season without talking about what happened in the offseason.
Right.
And I feel that, I mean, I know if I were in the Seattle Storm coaching staff, I would feel vindicated. I would feel like, you know, I just beat the undefeated, one of the undefeated teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to that end, you know, NECA kind of talked about it, and I want to go to that clip before we continue. But NECA Ogumake just talking about this being a good win and it being a barometer for this Seattle team when you play a team of the caliber of Minnesota, who, oh, Roberta left, who we know that, you know, we know that NECA Ogumake knows the caliber of this Minnesota squad because she used to play for the LA Sparks. So here is NECA Ogumake.
This is a championship contending team. And not just this team, it's an organization. I've been playing against Minnesota for 14 years. I've been playing against Cheryl for 14 years. She knows what the hell she's doing. Her players know what they're doing, and they run what they do very well. Noe said before the game that we cannot make mistakes because Minnie's the type of team that's going to capitalize on those mistakes. Yeah. So for us to be able to, I think, maybe match the aggression by putting points on the board. It was a very high scoring first quarter and half, really. Needed to tighten up our defense in that way. But for us to be able to manage the tempo, manage the runs, and stay present, you know, stay present within each possession, I think that's a huge step in the right direction for our team.
I think that she's right. And the big question, though, and it has been the question for the whole season for me is, you know, is this a team that can meet the moment, not just in big games, you know, but with consistency? Because there are times where this Minnesota squad, statistically speaking, on paper, you know, to use the phrase, could have beat teams that they struggled against, or even teams that maybe were a little bit of a reach where they could show truly who they are in this league. And we've seen them not be able to get it together. So, you know, again, Noel Quinn and Ogumake alluded to this standard of excellence for the Seattle Storm, knowing that they are one of the three franchises, Minnesota being the only other active one, but they are one of three franchises ever in the WNBA to have 4 championships. And this is a squad that wants to get back there. But last time on Tempestade Talk, Roberta, the conversation that I was having, and I think it's still valid, this was a great individual insular win. I still have questions on if this team is built for longevity. I have questions about how this team has been constructed, given some of the things that we've seen. And so I don't know, is this a team that's just started to hunker down? Are they, you know, kind of punching above their weight? Or are they finding their stride? I don't know. But right now, you know, we talked about the Commissioner's Cup in the standings. They're 5th overall, so that does put them in playoff position. They are one of really, like, I'll say 3, but it's technically 2 teams that are 6-4 in their last 10. Atlanta is 6-3, so not quite their last 10, but you get the gist of it. You know, and then of course Minnesota now 9-1, while the New York Liberty are 9-0. So, you know, I want to talk about that because this is a team that showed potentially what they can be. And the question is, how do they sustain it? We're going to talk about that coming up, but we're going to get into our halftime. And for those joining us for the first time, either our shoot around or our halftime, we kind of go off of script, so to speak, or step away from the Seattle Storm to talk about more broad WNBA news. And so there was something that Noelle Quinn said, though, that I want to talk about once we get into our third quarter. But what I want to talk about now, Roberta, is All-Star voting officially up. You're muted, just so you know. All-Star voting is officially open for fans. And we've seen the campaigns. If you're in our Slack channel, we sent you the PDF of some of the campaigns or the campaign, that the Seattle Storm team is going to put together. And we'll give you our picks for who we think should be an all-star from this Seattle Storm team. But all-star in Indiana. We know that voting is open. But I want to know, Roberta, if you look at the league overall, and maybe we can even start with the team in Minnesota that you just got to see. Who do you think are some like non-negotiable should be all-stars this year?
Nafisa Collier.
Yes.
Nako Gumake.
We'll talk about Storm players.
Storm players.
No Storm players. We'll talk about Storm players in the third quarter.
Okay, no Storm players. Nafisa Collier, of course. Nako Gumake. Caitlin Clark. Paige Beckers. I was one of the media members who got their email used to make one single All-Star game, one single vote for Caitlin Clark. Yes.
What?
Yes. It happened.
I don't even understand what you're saying. Wait.
Let me show it. I got an email saying your WNBA All-Star vote is in. Who is the only person that was voted? Caitlin Clark.
Oh, okay. That's weird. So your email got hacked already? Like voting just opened?
Yeah, someone used my email to vote for her.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. Regardless, I think she deserves to be, so definitely let's see. Nafisa Collier, Alyssa Thomas, Paige deserves to be there. Erica Hemby, maybe. I think she's being either her or Plum Dog from the Sparks, I would say. I think that she deserves to be there. I think the only non-negotiable, Dejounte. I think Dejounte deserves to. Dejounte for sure. Yeah, if I had to choose from non-Storm games, non-Storm players, I would go for those. I think that they deserve a spot, and it would be really fun. Although we don't know what the format is going to be for sure, right?
Well, I like it's not explicitly said, but they're gonna probably do what they've been doing the last handful of years, which is that instead of going East versus West, they're gonna go by the majority. Whoever gets the majority of the vote. I think by July 8th. I don't remember if the 8th is the final designation, but whoever is leading at a certain designation, the two players that are leading the vote, which is basically the fan vote, those players will be the two captains. And then the two captains will select their teams based on everyone else that's voted in, which includes the player vote, the fan vote, which is like 50% of the vote, and the media vote. I will say, I'm going to say right off of the bat, it's not a lock for me for three players that you mentioned. It's not a lock for Paige Beckers. It's not a lock for AT, and it's not a lock for Caitlin Clark. I'm just keeping it a buck, because if we have a team in the New York Liberty, and you mentioned no East Coast teams, but the bias is real, but that's okay, because I'm from the East Coast, so I got y'all. Anyone who's listening who happens to want to know who maybe from the East Coast might be going to the All-Star, I'm going to tell you in a minute. But this is why I wanted to talk about injuries. The teams, no team, let me look at the standings just to make sure. There is no team that has played more than 10 games. Minnesota has played 10. Phoenix has played 10. Seattle has played 10, I'm sorry. No, that's inaccurate. Numbers are hard. I guess Phoenix has played 11. I'm sorry. Their Wednesday game was 11. LA has played 11. Okay. And Dallas has played. Okay. So no team has played more than 12 games this season. Not yet anyway. And my point is, if you've missed 4 games out of not even 12.
Fair point. Okay, that's fair.
The window has just started. Alyssa Thomas is back. Paige Beckers is back. We don't know for sure. Indiana did have availability today, but the fact that the world is apparently still spinning tells me that maybe we didn't get an update on whether she will play on Saturday. I feel like I would know, even though I didn't watch that press conference yet. My point is that
we would know for sure.
If Caitlin Clark misses another game, from a basketball perspective, right? Because there's different things to say here.
Yeah.
From a basketball perspective, that doesn't make her a shoo-in for me. And I don't know if I don't know yet. I'll put it this way. I don't know yet if I will have an all-star vote. I don't think they've told us yet. Usually they don't. Like, even though fan voting has opened, we sometimes find out a little bit later. Anyway, for me, I will consider how many games have been played up to a point. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's what I consider. Am I saying I'm not going to vote for Paige? Am I saying I'm not going to vote for Caitlin? Am I saying I'm not going to vote for AT? No, I'm just saying I do think how many games they've played comparative to other people. Like, you didn't mention Satu Sabali, and I can't understand why. She's a lock for me.
She is.
She's the leading point scorer for Phoenix. And I mean, who else? AT is now just back, but who else on Phoenix is?
She has made for the game, like, she has made an impact. I would still go for AT, especially considering there are more games coming. I think I'm also trying to think, like, with the ones that are coming up, I would still go AT.
I don't think you have to choose, but I'm just telling you, if I could only had one pick from Phoenix, it's probably Satu at this point. However, like I promised, I'm not going to give you the West Coast bias because I'm from the East Coast. Thank you very much. And in Central Time, but who knows what that means. Anyway, Alicia Gray, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Alicia Gray, yes, 100%. Jonquel Jones missed 1 game or 2. 1 game. Well, she came out of a game. She came out of a game and then she missed a game. I can't imagine she will miss Saturday. Jonquel Jones. Natasha Cloud should be considered. Absolutely. Who else? I mean, let's see. I'm thinking of the East Coast teams. I mean, I'm very curious to see if Kiki Iriafen and Sonia Citron are going to draw some votes. I think they should. I think they
should. Yeah.
I think they absolutely should. I think, Asia Wilson unfortunately went down with an injury. We didn't talk about her, but she's having another great year. Fee 100%. 100% Nafisa Collier. Okay, voting ends on June 28th for and then I guess July 8th is the selection. That makes sense. As far as Caitlin Clark, of course Caitlin will make the All-Star. I don't doubt it, because again, the fan vote is 50% of the vote, and apparently there are already people using emails that don't belong to them to place votes. I also am not going to lie, given that there is an event happening on Saturday called No King's Day. I'm just saying that, hacking votes is a little sensitive for me, and I wasn't quite prepared to pivot because I am definitely.
I thought you had seen that.
I'm definitely emerged on the political side of things. So hearing a rigged election was a little bit triggering for me, not even going to lie. Jokes aside, Yes, Caitlin Clark is going to make this All-Star game.
100%. Yeah.
Now, here's the question. Is Caitlin Clark going to participate in the All-Star game? Because she declined the three-point contest last year.
Yeah.
Some people
Yeah.
speculated that she declined because she wanted to compete in her first in Indiana.
Yeah.
Some people think that she declined because she was tired. Very feasible. Some people think she declined to stick it to USA basketball because, sure, that's the best way to hurt USA basketball is by not participating in a WNBA event. What?
Yeah.
What are we talking?
Yeah, I think there's no way she's not gonna do the 3-point contest in Indiana. I think that, I would even go the conspiracy theory route and just say that they were always planning on making this game at in Indiana to kind of like secure Caitlin Clark there. I think that that's where they're coming from because everything this league does now is for her. So I think that there's no way she's
I would like to add an amendment. Yes, amendments do matter, just in case you're watching the news and don't think that they do. My point is, I would like to make an amendment to what you said. Amendment, which now I'm going too deep. I'm going to come back. I would amend maybe slightly what you were saying. I don't think the league overall. I think there are particular parties, perhaps ones that Satsu Sabali has called out time and time again, that cater seemingly. And maybe we'll know because the person I have in mind got a lot of slack and somehow the New York Liberty caught strays because she decided to wear a skyline on her dress. Nobody from New York told her to do that. I can guarantee nobody from New York told her to do that.
Yes, and I think that let's call it a word that corporate really likes, like stakeholders. I think that person specifically is really concerned and really tapping into the whole rivalry thing that doesn't even exist.
We talked
So
about
I am very convinced that she is fully submersed into the this league is going to grow based on how much Caitlin Clark will show. That's where she's at, and I think that yeah, 100%, 100. No, I'm not gonna say it.
I like this too.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Climate Pledge Arena that had the new Seattle Kraken. Let's go Kraken. Had the new Seattle Kraken head coach and I believe his wife there, Lane Lambert, the Lambert family. The Seattle Reign were there.
Yes.
I did see Megan Rapinoe. I did not see if Sue Bird was there, but I wouldn't be surprised if she was also there. I saw Megan. I saw her hug. I forget who she was hugging. Probably Eweezy. So it was a star-studded event.
It was. It really was. Yeah.
I was like, am I in Barclays? Am I in Barclays?
Yeah, and there have been Seahawks players at every game. Seahawks players have been to every game. So for Damian Lillard went to the last home game, I think.
Oh, right. With Tina, was he there with Tina Thompson?
Yeah, there. So here's the thing: there has always been celebrities at Storm games. You have the Death Cab for Cutie guy. Yeah. So, but people for some reason they think they don't give that much attention. So going back to the Indiana thing, I'm very curious to see. I mean, I'll be honest, I would be pissed if she didn't play. Like, let's be fair. We're talking about a second-year player. I'm
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't care.
Here's the thing, like, she's so good at basketball. It's hard not to want to watch her play. That's the thing. She plays entertaining basketball, and but so, and we have talked about that. We love the spiciness. Love the spiciness. Give us all the spice, but stand on business. That's the thing. Like, you saw Satu being spicy yesterday. You saw Kayla McBride being spicy yesterday, and people are saying, "Oh, happy birthday, Diana Taurasi! You did it." All of the games had some sort of drama. So I think that give us the spice, but stand on business and not just like
That's fair.
That's the thing. So she is entertaining basketball, and for me, it's very conflicting because, and I've said that time and time again, I'm not the biggest fan of her like behavior, etc. But I would love to see her play. I would love to see Paige Becker's Caitlin Clark 3-point contest. Erica's gone, everyone.
Delete. Tomato. Roberta is, once again, see, I didn't even say your name right. I'm so mad. Roberta is gone. I've kicked her out. I will not stand for this. Not in the year of our Lord 2025, when Allie Quigley has retired in a she retired by retiring her Irish goodbye. Lest we forget the icon who has set the bar for the 3-point contest has just retired. Show some respect. And then the only person who could even come close, as of yet, to touching what Allie Quigley did for us plays in New York. Not in Dallas, not in Indiana, in New York. Why I have a co-host that wants to play me to my face, I don't understand. But we're going to bring her back because I'm fair.
Listen, I'm not saying that those are the only ones that I want to see. Thank you for bringing me back. I'm not saying that those are the only ones I want to see. But I would like to see them. Like, I get the hype, but Sabrina Ionescu would beat all of them, like 100%. Like that.
Is it even a competition if it's
no? It's not. Like, neither of them would win. Neither Paige nor Caitlin Clark would win. Still,
Donovan got to it first. I saw this, Donovan. I was going to get back to it. I saw you. I was picking up what you were throwing down, saying Caitlin Clark maybe didn't want to ruin, the best 3-point shooter. I honestly would love to see it. If it's not Sabrina and Caitlin,
yeah,
maybe throw JJ in there again. Because
I know. Oh my God, that would be so good. Here's the thing: All-Star Game is for giggles and
exactly.
So
fun.
Just give us all of it. Give us the entertainment. Oh my God, I was gonna say Alicia Gray, but I was like, what if I'm kicked out again? I was going to say I would love to see can you imagine like a 3-point final between Sabrina and Leash? That would be dope. Now here's the thing that I wanted to add. I don't think anyone. I'm gonna turn that into a question.
Ooh.
Erica, do you think Sabrina Ionescu would beat Allie Quigley in the 3-point contest?
Okay, this is an interesting one, and I don't feel great about it. Because I love Allie Quigley. But the answer is yes.
Sabrina would beat her.
Yes. The answer is yes, because here's my thing. Here's my thing. And we will always respect Allie Quigley in this house. And you know what? Listen, I'm tired of the days where the WNBA has trophies that have no names and do not give it a corporate name. You named that 3-point contest after Allie Quigley yesterday.
Yes.
Okay? Yesterday. And even yesterday would be too late. Y'all should have done it 3 years ago. Name that contest after her. Name that trophy after her immediately. Put it in the CBA if you have to. That's number one.
You're all about adding things to the CBA.
Allie Quigley, like, showed us the poise and mastery of the system of being in a 3-point contest. And let's not forget during COVID when the NBA All-Star tried to play her to her face when she was shooting on like a lopsided freaking, court when they did that horse tournament or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, Allie? I respect that you showed up. But some people were in like proper gyms and she's like, on a court that, her baby cousin put together. I don't know, like a home court, not the home court of like an elite level WNBA player, a champion, but like, something that I might have in my garage. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Yeah. When I think of like, peak Allie Quigley 3-point contest,
I like that, Courtney. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
I can get with it.
Yeah, I mean, let's make it fun. It's the All-Star. It's the All-Star game. All-Star.
Excuse me. I would like to set the record straight, Courtney. I know you're new here, so respectfully, Coco didn't beat her. Word on the street is she beat herself. No,
Word on the street.
Have you been listening to the Discord? Like she was
I have not.
Coco didn't beat me. I beat myself.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
Because I made all those mistakes, and I'm like, you could have also just not said anything.
It was Sabalenka, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's Sabalenka. I saw that, and it was quite disrespectful, because Coco Gauff did such a good job of beating her. I understand where the whole like I beat myself,
right?
But also credit where credit is due,
right? And I did. I mean, I was saying that for jokes. I did feel like some of what she was saying was more of like I beat myself, and I don't know much about her, so I don't want to imply anything. Like, air quotes lost in translation. I don't want to be that person because I don't know her, so I can't speak to that. I do feel that there is a version of what she said that maybe was escalated beyond just a little bit. That being said, would I have said that after losing to the press? Maybe not. But then again, I'm not the Minnesota Lynx, so there you go.
I like that question that was here.
Everybody, can you tell I'm a New Yorker? If we're not mad about the Minnesota Lynx, then how are we going to demonize this woman? Because Minnesota said everything but New York won.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I don't feel any kind of way about it. I'm fine. It's fine. Especially because bam! It's totally.
Hold on, there's a podcast. Gotta get up. A podcast for New York Liberty fans.
It's fine. Totally fine. Totally normal over here.
Yeah.
Well, halftime certainly lasted longer than I thought, but we're having a good time. We're going to switch it up, though. Yeah. I told you to hold off on who you want to see for the Seattle Storm, because this indeed is Tempestade Talk, where we keep a local eye on the Seattle Storm. So
we keep an eye everywhere. We're nosy.
I'm just saying, I've muted you and taken you off screen intentionally twice. Brian has not gotten that treatment yet. I'm just saying.
Like I said, I am Latina and my American education came from New York, so I am gonna push buttons. I am gonna
And
push buttons.
what y'all can't see is that when I take her off camera, she's hysterically laughing. It is
Yes,
falling over, hysterically laughing at me.
it's all on purpose. It's so good to get a reaction from Erica. It's just like, oh, she's gonna kick me out again. I can see it.
Like, yes, she was. Yes, she was. And God,
Yes.
he felt was such a heartwarming standing ovation. We're just
Yeah.
built a little different. Like people love, like as you can tell, I get excitable, but it goes the other way too. We show love. We show love. But let's show love to the Seattle Storm. I know I have some players that I think I feel like I've mentioned a few of them, but let's talk about who from this Noel Quinn squad do we think absolutely going to All-Star?
Definitely NECA.
Mm-hmm.
I think NECA is going to All Star. If I had to lock one person from the team, ooh, wait.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
NECA.
say, okay.
I would lock
You're going
NECA,
just one?
but
You would lock NECA over Gabby? If
yeah,
you could only pick one, you're going NECA?
yeah,
Interesting.
I would go NECA.
I would go Gabby. And here's my thing, because for me, All-Star is yes, I know that it's fun, and at least from a media perspective, I feel that it goes back to what I was saying about players that missed games. I will consider that. If I get a vote again this year, I will consider that, how many games they played comparative to others. Because I know people are going to vote for their favorites, or they like the colorways on their shoes and baka baka ba. For me, Gabby, if we think about it this way, it's not MVP, but what is All-Star in my mind for the players that you're voting in from a particular team? They've been the All-Star. They have been the effective MVP of their team leading up to All-Star. And to me, that's Gabby Williams.
interesting. Okay. I think that Gabby Williams plays a pivotal role for the Seattle Storm. Yes. But I think that the most reliable player on the team is Neka Ogumake. I think that she has been doing the most, and she started the season well. I think she had 2 low games, and she's back up. So I would say NECA first, Skylar second, Gabby third.
Interesting.
That's my take.
I agree with Monique, because we have it in our notes. This is exactly who I put in our notes. But when you were like, if I could only pick one, I was like, well, if I'm ranking them, Gabby's getting my number one. That being said, if we look at the last handful of games, and if Erica Wheeler can continue her trajectory, I think she could make a case to get some All-Star votes.
I agree. I particularly would love to see her there again, because I have a soft spot for Erica Wheeler.
Yeah, actually, I apologize. I don't have Skylar. I put Erica, actually.
Oh, I think Skylar definitely deserves to be there. I would, like I said, NECA for me, NECA first, Skylar second.
Yeah,
I think that Skylar's having an All-Star year. Yeah.
I think that's fair. I was like, wait, actually, let me look at my notes again. If you could have 4, it's definitely Gabby, NECA, Sky, and Erica.
100%. 100%. I mean, unfortunately,
Moni's like, if I could take Erica off the screen, I would do it. Moni's like, where's my power button? She's gonna boot me off the island.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see Erica there. And honestly, I feel like the 4 of them deserve to be in the All-Star game, because they have been killing it. And if I know that it's almost like impossible for them, the 4 of them, to make. I mean, if it's up to, the bots and the people who are stealing media members'
That's
emails,
crazy.
the tres leches would make the All-Star game. You know the tres leches? Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and
What?
Lexi Hull.
What?
You hadn't heard about it? you, you have never heard about the tres leches?
First of all, I feel like that's appropriation. Because when I think of tres leches,
Yeah.
I don't think about those three. That's why I was like, what are we talking about tres leches for? I was like, do I
Yeah.
have to go to the kitchen and get a snack? Tres leches?
Yeah, they're the tres leches. Like if you look for,
What?
yeah, they've been calling her tres leches. It's amazing.
What?
It's not amazing. It's awful. But yeah, I
No.
would not be surprised if
I'm
that fan base is like,
actually- I'm a little bashful right now. Wait, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how I feel about this.
I mean, I think it's ridiculous. They shouldn't be calling those three tres leches when they're like the widest trio to ever exist. No.
Well,
So
and that's
what-
okay. Let's explain. I feel like we might have to explain. I don't know if everyone. I don't want to assume. Here's the thing. Literally, tres leches is not gringa at all.
No.
It is a very specific cultural dessert.
Yes.
So
Very.
that's why when you said tres leches, I was like, what are we even talking about? What are we?
Yeah.
What? Tres leches is very Latin. Okay. It is
Very. I'll say Hispanic, even not even Latin. Very Hispanic.
Hispanic. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So when you said tres leches, I mean, even it's milk three ways, I guess, is the best translation, right? Kind of like it's 3 milks,
Have
but
condensed milk.
Right.
We have, yeah.
Right. Literally it means 3 milks, right? But the translation is better milk 3 ways. Like you said, condensed milk. It's 3 milks. I don't know. I have never made tres leches. Revoke my card.
There's even a Yahoo story about it.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it here in the chat.
What? Okay, so first of all, that's what tres leches is. It is a dessert, it is very cultural. We gave you the translation. So for someone like I'm so uncomfortable. I am extremely uncomfortable even describing this. I don't know how I feel.
Yeah, I hated that.
And then also I don't know how I feel like putting that on 3 white women. Like I don't know. Like I
Yeah.
get it. Like like intellectually I get it. And I'm like, are we crossing a line here? I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, are they really doing that? Because
That's crazy.
that's the least Hispanic thing that you're ever gonna see.
Nickname? Ew.
Yeah, and they keep
Ew.
calling like, and the Clarkies, the Clarkettes, they keep calling them tres leches.
Oh
And
my.
Dave Portney, yeah,
I can't unsee
that guy.
it. I can't
That
unsee it.
guy posted yesterday a whole like tres leches thing.
Get the out of here. I'm actually now it's like I'm processing it. I'm not here for it. I'm not here
No, not at all. Not at all. I think it's
for
awful.
appropriation.
Yeah. And we're talking about that fan bases that like is super racist.
Ew.
I'll just say it. Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. Are you Googling? Are you like social mediaing tres leches? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No. Listen,
Yeah.
I don't know who these people. First of all, I'm just gonna say I don't even know if I want to say this. I'm just gonna show you what I saw as far as the receipts for where this name came from, allegedly, apparently. Can we just look at the freaking handle?
Oh. No, so I don't think that, but it is this guy. It started on X.
I
But
can't.
yeah, it's awful.
Yeah,
It's
I get the milk. I get the milk. Like gringa leche. Like I get it. And like I just feel like I don't like it. I don't want it. I want
no,
no
I
parts.
don't like it at
Just like,
all.
I don't want to be called Latinx. Don't do that. Except it's not even the same because those are not the same. These are not that. Like this is like. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
I mean,
I want no parts.
yeah, it's. Oh yeah, I found it. So
No
there is
color.
this account that's called WNBA Louvre, and they had a whole graphic that's
Ew.
kind of like what started the whole thing. When I saw that, I was disgusted, and I thought like, oh, that's not going to, that's not
I'm
gonna
like,
take.
ugh.
Yep, yep,
Why?
yeah. Mhm.
Oh my god. I don't know how I feel. Like I'm grateful that I know because if I caught wind in these streets, more specifically like when I'm at work, like at a game or going to Indiana, which is the next thing we were going to talk about anyway, that we will, yay for us, we'll be in Indiana. But also, if someone in my vicinity says tres leches and there is not a piece of effing cake on my
I
plate,
know,
freak
I
out.
know.
I'm going to freak out. Tres leches, cafecita.
Die. Because there is, so in Brazil, the tres leches it includes doce de leite, which is the dulce de leche, and for
Dulce
me,
de leche, sí, yeah.
yeah.
Claro.
So I like the doce de leite, bolo de doce de leite, which is doce de leite cake, better than the tres leches, but it also has like condensed
Igualmente,
milk.
sí. Claro.
So
Tres leches, to be honest. So
yeah,
anyway, you can
so
do what you want
it's
with that.
just.
But my point is, this is going off the rails. I was not prepared.
I did not know. I did not know that you didn't know about that.
No idea. I'm so what? What?
Oh, I'm gonna have to tell people that I just
Dulce de
introduced you.
leche is superior.
Yeah.
So the lesson that we've learned today, folks, is if you are picking a Latin or Hispanic pastry, always go dulce de leche
Yep.
or flan.
Yeah.
I would even put flan, and I don't like
Flan, pudim in Portuguese. Flan in Portuguese is pudim.
pudim.
Pudim. Pudim.
Oh, pudim.
It's amazing.
Tres leches it's almost like watery sometimes. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Well, also tracks. Anyway, we're moving on, but oh god, this is terrible. I cannot. I do not embrace it. We will never again speak of this.
No.
I just cannot.
No.
I cannot. There's like
And
too many ways to go that just like it makes it so I understand, but also I resent people that don't understand using something that they don't know because like what? Craig, I'm going off. I'm literally sweating right now. I'm sweating. I am sweating. I was ill prepared for this turn of events.
Yeah, it's crazy because I'm glad that you picked up on that and that you're going off about it because I am so pissed that no one has called it out because it is so wrong. And again, we're talking about these specific fan bases and we're talking about this specific player who has shared transphobic thing. Anyway.
Yeah, there's so much wrong. Listen, we will never use that term on this podcast. Like it took me a minute to work through, like the immediate was like, what?
What is she talking about? Do I have to kick her out again?
What? No, I was like genuine. It was almost like when you were like, yeah, they used my email. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, actually someone just emailed me. Someone just DM'd me, another media member, and she said, I emailed the league and my email got hacked. So like,
Oof, That's
Like,
really
people like they are hacking emails
Gee.
to vote in the All-Star game for a player that's already gonna be there.
I
Like,
mean, she's gonna be there. She's gonna
like
be there.
just create another email. Like, do you have to be
It's
that?
not hard. They're free for now. Craig, you were right behind the bench. Oh, that must have been fun at that
Yeah.
game on Wednesday. That must have been fun. We
Mhm.
talked about that, but you can watch it on replay. We took a lot of twists and turns, Craig, including talking about Hispanic desserts that I was not prepared for.
Next episode, we should both like be eating dulce de
Dulce
leche
de
cake.
leche, yeah. Dulce. I don't like tres leche.
I had it once. I prefer dulce de leche. It's so much better,
It's so
especially
much better.
from Minas Gerais in Brazil and Argentinian dulce de leche.
Mhm.
Argentinian dulce de leche is elite.
Argentina. They're a little problematic.
Very problematic.
Yeah.
They are like we don't really claim them in Latin America, but they do good dulce de leche. So
yeah,
yeah.
that's where I was gonna say original. That's where the until recently the most modern fascists went.
Because the president is his fan.
Finding this out, my mind melted. I had a breakdown,
Cold.
and that's saying a lot. I'm still like,
and I'm freezing because for some reason it got super cold in Seattle out of nowhere. So I'm just gonna get a hoodie. Be right back.
There's also a lot of lights on me right now, but she left me again. See, and sometimes I don't even kick her out. She just leaves on her own. My goodness. Anyway, another inside joke. I am unwell. That really threw me for a loop. I don't even know what else to say about that. But yeah, y'all got my real reaction because I had no idea. You're gonna make me start sweating from my hat, man. Like she's putting on a hoodie and I'm here like fighting for my life. Not you need a reset after suggesting E. Willie for All-Star over Skylar. Hey, listen. I said what I said. I said what I said.
These are completely off the rails, and I did not anticipate that that's what would happen. But the reaction was just like,
I'm gonna clip that because you threw me. I am legitimately sweating. Like I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I'm unwell. I can't believe that on so many levels. Like, and I think also because I feel like I've said this on Gotta Get Up. Like I try to have fun here and like I try to be mindful because like I try to be a good human being. That's a whole nother thing. But I try to be mindful of what I say. Number one, because don't be clipping me out here in these streets.
Oh my God.
Context
I am terrified of that.
Over Skylar is a choice, side eye. Oh, see, now everyone's mad at me. I guess I'll go. Roberta, you close out.
Okay, so we are if I had to choose, it would be Lee Yuru, Zia Cook. Erica's gonna be like, I'm coming back right now. Lexi Brown. Yeah, that will be my top 3 for Seattle. We are so unserious today. I'm so sorry about that. It just got so unserious.
That's out of pocket.
All due respect. That's just like, for jokes. But like,
oh my gosh.
We just lost it. The translate is kind of like got to us.
Woo, I'm definitely sweating. Our best Craig gets me. And now I have to like think over here because I'm not on the right side of the screen anymore. Craig gets me. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Hilarious. See, like you were worried. Like when we started the show, I was like, Roberta, I'm gonna like, respectfully push you. And now she's got me taking her off screen. Ask 4 people. That's the list.
Yep. I'm dying. I'm dying. This is just like, and thank you everyone for sticking with us through this whole thing, because this was a lot. This was, I am planning on having some special things after this, but not yet.
Rum is the only choice. With all that sweetness, you just burn it with, just put some rum and then light it on fire, and you're having a great day.
Oh my God.
We do need to do another crossover with Brian. We gotta
do. Poor Brian in the room with us.
Listen, Brian,
he's so calm.
Brian will come with it. He's sharp. He's got a sharp wit, man. I remember one episode he had me absolutely dying, where he was like, I think it was last season, and he was like, yo, listen, the New York Liberty, this is a direct quote I'm about to give you. He's like, the Liberty got a elephant mascot throwing that ass. I was like, what?
Oh, wow, look at Brian.
But where's the lie?
No lies were said at all. Like, no lies. He's not lying.
Really be popping it.
I was dying with Jonquil Jones and C Cloud doing like the hair and the truck. Okay, this episode has become like,
we're done. Yeah. I have to shower clearly, because that made me so like, I had so many emotions. But what I was saying is, like, I try to like still be professional but have fun with it. Dulce de leche, we're just gonna say that because I can't even with the other. That threw
that other one became a trigger now.
That threw we're reclaiming the narrative. I'm reclaiming my time.
Yeah. Yep.
The narrative. We will never again say the other one. Dulce de leche is the only way to go. And now we have to come up with dulce, like, we have to come up. We might have to have a whole segment where we're like, this is the dulce the dulce de leche, or how we say it in Portuguese.
Doce de leite.
Okay, de leite.
Doce, D-O-C-E.
Doce.
D-D-E, which is like off.
Yeah.
Leite, L-E-I-T-E.
Leite. Doce de leite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna keep working on it.
Doce de leite.
Dulce de leite. Okay, we gotta like pick a dulce de leite player of the week.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Oh man. Oh dang, Craig, you picked the right game. You picked the absolute right game for it. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Good for you. But between you and Roberta, I mean, y'all definitely had the intuition right. That was the game for sure.
Yeah, can't believe I almost missed it, but I'm glad I didn't.
And we've got some pretty good games coming up too. We alluded to it, with the New York Liberty taking on the Indiana Fever. That's going to be a crazy game, especially if, like we suspect, Jonquil Jones and Caitlin Clark will be back. I literally almost said Sabrina Ionescu because y'all got me upset earlier. I was like, that's not my
so many emotions today. I get it. I'm like
emotions. But we've got Chicago and Atlanta tomorrow, Dallas and Vegas. I'm just gonna leave that there. LA and Minnesota, New York Liberty, Indiana, and then also on Saturday, of course, the Seattle Storm and the Golden State Valkyries. That's gonna be another good one. Before we hit the mics again, if they even let us, and by they, I don't know what I mean because I run shit here. We also have the Seattle Storm taking on the LA Sparks, which I think could be a fun one as well. The
Storm should win all of those games.
It's my mic. You're dang right. It's my mic. Yeah, this is going to be, so going back to what we were talking about with consistency, this will be a good test. Great win over Minnesota. And like the Sparks just beat the Aces. And the Valkyries also beat the Aces. And the Aces, as we talked about, have been the bugaboo, at least in seasons past, for this Seattle Storm squad. And, you know, there's a little history there. We didn't even get into what Becky Hammon said about a certain player, perhaps saying that maybe she should come off of the bench.
And she said it was her idea.
Listen, we'll have to talk about that on another episode, but appreciate y'all joining us and bearing with us, because who even knows what the last 20 minutes was.
Thanks for coming on this ride with us, because we did not know where this was going. That was not planned, and we ended up going there, you know.
That's a way out. Like I'm still not recovered. I might not be until I can.
Please come back. Please come back the next time, everyone. We promise that we talk very seriously. And if you were here before we got to the Doce de Leite, there were some really good basketball conversations happening.
We promise we talk basketball.
Yes.
Most of the time. Yes. Thank you for joining us, Roberta. I know you teased something that you have in the works. You just had a great story that featured Erica Wheeler and some other players in celebration of Pride Month and LGBTQ plus stories. So we put that in our Slack channel. Go check that out. Anything else though, Roberta, that you want to pump before we head out of here?
I have a story on the stud buds coming up soon. I think it's such a good, I think it's like, it's WNBA, it's sports marketing, and it's pride, because we're talking about two players who, you know, they are embracing the stud mentality. And that was not really embraced in the WNBA in the past. And so I have that. I am also working, I know that Breanna Stewart's going to be in Seattle on the next week, so I'm gonna try to get a couple minutes with her to talk about her how moving to New York impacted her business, her change her from just being an amazing basketball player to being an outstanding businesswoman also. So I have those in the works, trying to plan my all-star game trip. Lots to come, and we have Tempestade Talk next week.
That's it, Tempestade next week. We appreciate y'all coming in. Saw some new handles in the comments. We appreciate y'all. Craig, our Slack channel is like a community group that we have, and it's completely free to join. But for example, Roberta put in a voice note after spending the post-game press conference with Minnesota after the win on Wednesday. We sometimes have exclusive audio that we put up there. We talk about all kinds of things, including, of course, the Seattle Storm for our other podcast, Gotta Get Up, and Olympic coverage. So it's not just our podcast on the WNBA, but all of Black Rosie Media. So if you want to join the Slack channel, I'm putting the link in the chat. And it should also be in the show notes. You should be able to find the link on our YouTube page and all of that. But you can join our Slack community, and it's a way to engage with us. We've got some members, Slack members here. I know Moni for sure is in the Slack channel. Just a great way to connect with us when in between podcasts. And we always let the Slack channel know when we are going to go live. Tempestade Talk usually goes on Wednesdays. It just depends on the game schedule. Obviously, there was a game on Wednesday, so we wanted to come on today. But for Roberta Rodriguez, I am Erica L. Ayala. Make sure you're following us. Subscribe right here on YouTube or Instagram, depending on where you're watching live. And we will be back next week. And we will
be back next week.
Yes, we will be back next week. We can't promise that we won't talk about desserts, but we definitely talk about basketball. And have a great night. Thank you for joining us, and we will catch you on the next episode. Peace out, everybody. What a time.
I